What's up, you guys? Welcome to Aftershock. I'm Aaron, and today I'm bringing you the biggest show of the year in live events, live entertainment. WWE WrestleMania 32. I'm going to give you the results and my review on it. So I have a notes out the rear end, so let's not waste any time at all. First off, on the kickoff show, we have Kalisto versus Ryback for the U.S. title, the United States title. They was, I guess it's a good start for the night. Kalisto entered in a big dragon suit. He had a big old mask. It looked kind of like a dragon or something. It was really awesome. Overall, it was a decent match, decent opener, good way to start the night. Ryback's power game looked really good, but Kalisto's speed prevailed in the end as he hit the Selena del Sol, retaining his U.S. championship. I give the match about a 6 of 10 for me, but overall it wasn't. You can't say it was a bad match because it wasn't. It was a pretty decent match. Next match on the kickoff show, we had Paige, Eva Marie, Brie Bella, Alicia Fox, and Natalya versus Naomi, Tamina, Emma, Summer Rae, and Lana. Team Total Divas versus Team Bad and Blonde, 5-on-5 tag. This was Lana's debut match. I've always liked Lana, her gimmick. She's always just kind of, she's the kind of character you love to hate, but I've always liked her. She done quite well considering she only got to do a few moves. She was only in there for a little bit. Two good kicks, though. Two good kicks. I guess you could say this was pretty much a typical Divas match. Naomi looked really good. She always does. I just see her getting better and better, so. Brie Bella wins via the Yes Lock, a really sick variation, a really sick way to get into it. She did the roll, had the arm hooked. This is the puppy. But anyways, really cool. Team Total Divas win. Next on the kickoff, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay versus Bubba Ray and Devon, the Dudley Boys. Overall, it was a decent match. Nothing special at all. We've seen a lot of reversals near the end. But in the end, the Usos win via super kicks. I think H. Uso hit a super kick on H. Dudley. Give it about a 5.5 of 10. It wasn't a bad match, but it was nothing special, like I said. Post-match, the Dudleys attack the Usos, but get splashed through tables simultaneously. And it was announced on the kickoff show that the Divas Championship will be retired, and the women's title is unveiled. The new women's title, it was the white and red design that you've seen going around. If you follow anything about wrestling on social media, you've probably seen it going around before Mania. They went with that style, that look of title, and it actually looks really decent to me. And I'm so happy that they brought back the women's name instead of that Divas crap. I mean, really, who wants to wear a butterfly as a championship title? But anyways, on to the main show, WrestleMania 32 itself. First match on the card was the Intercontinental Championship 7-man ladder match. Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz versus Sami Zayn versus Stardust versus Sin Cara versus Zack Ryder versus Kevin Owens. KO entering as the champion. We've seen a lot of action in this match, but I really liked Sin Cara's the big jacket with the big shoulder pad, the big white jacket. That was really cool. We've seen a lot of action in this match. I especially liked Sin Cara's. Somebody tipped the ladder over, and he was on top, and he transitioned from standing on the ladder to jumping, springboarding off the ropes into a senton onto a bunch of guys on the floor. That was really cool. And obviously, I like the big high spot. He got tipped over from the very top of the ladder through another ladder that was between the barricade and the ring. So the ring apron. So that was really cool. And I've seen Jeff Hardy, I think, break a ladder like that. It just looks really, really painful. Sami Zayn went crazy. He went inside of the ladder over the ropes with a big suicide poncho kind of senton move. He hit the torpedo DDT really smooth. about a 7.5 of 10 match for the ladder match. I mean, they've had one. This is the second year in a row, I believe, for the IC title. So, like the Money in the Bank match, I suppose this is going to start to be a little bit of a tradition, so you could say. But this year, I give it about a 7.5 of 10 stars. For the simple fact, a big-ass surprise, Zack Ryder wins and is the new Intercontinental Champion via knocking The Miz off the ladder. They teased Miz winning. He stood over there with a big smile and got knocked off by Zack Ryder, and I know everybody's fucking... You had to be kind of surprised by that, but I'm so happy. Zack Ryder finally gets his big WrestleMania moment, and I just can't help but be happy about it because I've seen him job for so many years, and he's so good. He's so talented. But so, yeah, he gets his WrestleMania moment. He's the new Intercontinental Champion, which is awesome for me and awesome for him, obviously, and a lot of other people. Post-match, Zack celebrates with his father. His father gets in the ring, hugs him, they celebrate, so that's really cool. Next match on the WrestleMania card, Chris Jericho, Y2J versus AJ Styles. Styles was in red and white for a change. I liked it, actually. It looked really nice. I liked, early on, Styles had a really slick arm drag. It was kind of like he just grabbed his arm and twisted with him around his body. He was straight. It looked really sick. I've never seen anybody really pull off an arm drag like that. It was just really cool. Something really simple, but really cool to me. I think when Jericho went for the backflip inverted DDT, I think Jericho probably could have took that a little bit better. But Jericho is early 90s Jericho in WCW anymore. But I understand. Jericho caught the Pele kick and turned it into the walls. That was a really good spot for me. That was really cool. I liked the reversals before AJ Styles actually hit the Styles Clash. They did some reversals, some flopping, some fish flopping, but it actually looked really cool. I liked that shit. AJ Styles got to hit the springboard 450 splash. That was awesome. I fucking love that move. I actually have that move on my guy on 2K16. But in the end, Jericho won via he caught the phenomenal forearm in a code breaker and actually got the 1, 2, 3. It was about a 7 of 10 stars for me. Really good match, but AJ Styles needed that big WrestleMania win. That's just me though. I would have gave the win to AJ, but it was a good match. Next match on the card, The New Day versus the League of Nations, Sheamus, Rusev, and Del Rio for the tag team titles. New Day entered. They came out of a box, a big-ass 20-foot box of booty-os, and they was dressed as Dragon Ball Z characters. They had the shoulder pads, and the shit. Xavier had the crazy hair. Kofi hit a double boom drop in the match. It was really cool. Big E hit a double spear through the ropes like he does, and actually landed on the third member, took out all 3 members. It was really cool. We seen a new double team move by Kofi and Xavier Woods. Kofi held him on his knee, and Xavier kind of hit the knee or elbow or something like that. It was kind of cool though. Del Rio hit a big double foot stomp from the apron to the floor on Kofi. That's kind of inventive, kind of pretty cool to me. The League of Nations actually end up getting the win here and are the new tag team champions. Outside Wade Barrett, who wasn't even an actual legal participant in this match. From the outside, Woods was draped over the ropes. He hit the bull hammer into the bro kick for the win, and they're actually the new tag team champions. But post-match, the League of Nations claimed that they get on the mic and claim they're unstoppable, and they actually say no 3 men can beat them. Out hits the music. Shawn Michaels come out, Mick Foley come out, and Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out. They confront the League. The New Day pull Barrett out to even the odds, so it's 3-on-3 Legends versus League. Sheamus gets a mandible claw. Del Rio gets a Sweet Chin Music. Rusev gets a stunner. They throw Barrett back in the ring, and Barrett gets all 3 finishers. They just lay out the whole League of Nations. Afterwards, the New Day get back in the ring, and they try to get him to dance, but Xavier ends up getting a stunner. Very Stone Cold-like. And it actually, I kind of thought, it's in Dallas. Stone Cold probably will show up. But I didn't think anything like this would probably happen. It definitely surprised me, and I definitely like seeing all three of those legends back for WrestleMania. It was awesome. The match itself was pretty decent, but I have to say it was I'd say about a 6. But post match, all three of those legends, that just makes the segment of the match. So next match on the card was Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose in a no-holds-barred street fight. Damn, we're already at 10.5 minutes. I had a lot of notes. I knew it would be pretty long. The no-holds-barred street fight, Lesnar versus Ambrose. A lot of people may disagree, but I swear to God, honestly, guys, the match put me to sleep. Nothing but suplexes and kendo stick shots. That's all I can remember from the match. I think Dean used a fire extinguisher. I know he piled up some chairs. He hit Dirty Deeds on a pile of chairs, but other than that, that's all the match consisted of was kendo stick shots and suplexes by Lesnar. 4, maybe 5 stars, maybe, of 10. Lesnar ends up winning via the F5 on a pile of chairs that Ambrose stacked up. The match sucked to me. Quite simple. That's just me speaking. Next match on the card, the Divas Championship, which is going to be retired, and the winner of this triple threat will be the brand new women's champion. Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks versus Charlotte. Snoop Dogg performed for Sasha's entrance. It was really cool. He walked her down the ramp and shit. It was awesome. Sasha she was wearing tights that looked exactly like Eddie Guerrero's, but on the back, instead of saying Latino Heat, they said Legit Boss. It was actually really cool. And she actually used the frog splash to break up Charlotte's figure 4 in the match. It's really cool. And I swear to God, that frog splash looks so stiff to me, you guys. Becky took out Ric Flair via a suicide dive from the ring to the floor. Charlotte hit a moonsault from the top rope to the floor. I don't know. This was a really good match to me. One of the best on the card, I have to say. Charlotte got back in the ring, hit a double natural selection on Becky and Sasha both. The electric chair spot was pretty cool, but I do think Becky could have hit a little higher up on that. I like the Lynch, then Banks, then Charlotte submission train. They all were switching submissions off on each other near the end. That was really cool. Becky's super fisherman suplex was fucking awesome. Just women's wrestling's just changed totally for me, you guys. Charlotte ends up getting the win via a figure 8 while Rick was holding Sasha, which brings her to be our new women's champion. The match was about a 7.5 of 10 for me. It was a pretty decent match. Actually, a pretty good match. I understand. Me personally, I would have gave the big win to Sasha here, being that she's so over right now. She's so popular. She's so much of a trend now. I think she's just too popular. I think I would have gave her the title here. But you can't go wrong with either of the three. Any of the three would be good champions in my eyes. And Sasha didn't actually have to take the fall, being held by Rick to let Becky Lynch tap. Sasha didn't have to tap, so at least we didn't see Sasha Banks tap. Nonetheless, good match. 7.5 of 10 for me, maybe even 8, being generous. Next match, Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match for the control of Raw and for Taker's career. Shane hit. I mean, everybody knows. I knew Shane McMahon was going to hit a big ass fucking crazy spot in this match. That's what he comes for. That's what he does. That's what he makes the big appearances, the big jobs for. He hit coast to coast with a trash can. He cut loose the cage panels with bolt cutters, but got slammed through it himself. The sleeper on top of the box, and then they both took the bump through the table. That was pretty cool. Shane actually climbed to the top of the fucking cell, which looked a little bit higher than years ago, might I add. And he just jumped off the cell, kind of elbow drop style, just free falling. Taker moves out of the way. He explodes through the announce table. You know he's banged up. You know he is hurting today. Still, after that big-ass spot, he's taunting Taker like this. Come on his ass and on his back, just taunting. Come on, typical Shane. Typical Shane O'Mac. Undertaker actually gets him in and gets the win via the tombstone. Post-match, Shane's carried away on a stretcher. He holds the thumbs up, the peace sign. He's good. Thank God. And you gotta know Undertaker's thinking something that Shane is okay. The match was about an 8 of 10 stars for me, you guys. It wasn't a bad match at all. It was pretty good. But the big-ass crazy spot definitely gives it a little notch. Next, we have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We had 4 surprise entrants, actually. Tatanka was there. DDP made an entrance. We had NXT superstar Baron Corbin. And at the main end, Shaq entered. Yes, Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal. Pretty cool, right? We had one former winner in this match, being the Big Show. He won last year. Shaq and Show traded eliminations in the beginning, eliminating 2 or 3. Can't even remember. Damien Sandow, maybe some, just trying to get hype up. Shaq and Show end up actually get eliminated at the same time by the entire remaining competitors in the match at the same time. DDP hit the Diamond Cutter. The Social Outcasts actually had the numbers advantage until they met up with Kane and Baron Corbin. Kane actually gave, after they fought the Social Outcast off for a few minutes, Kane actually gave the chokeslam to Baron Corbin. But in the end, Baron Corbin ends up winning via eliminating Kane. And he was on the only NXT superstar there. I just kind of had a feeling through the whole match Baron Corbin was going to win this. And I guess he is considered on the main roster now, making his WrestleMania debut and winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. About a 6 of 10 for me, but it's definitely a way to make an impact and a way to make a debut onto the main roster. And I've always liked Baron Corbin, so that's awesome. I think he's a good contender to be the holder of the Andre the Giant, the big ass trophy. I think he's a good contender. So hell yeah, thumbs up for that. Next segment on the show, The Rock comes out with a flamethrower and ignites big ass boards like. I don't know what they were, but he ignites those, and they say Rock, R-O-C-K, capital letters. It was really cool to me, actually. He comes in the ring and announces that they broke the WrestleMania attendance record at 101,000 people, 763. That is crazy. 101,763 people was at WrestleMania. They broke the record. That's obviously pretty big news. The Wyatt family come out, Wyatt family being Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Braun Strowman. Ends up challenging The Rock, which The Rock ends up in 6 seconds, giving Eric Rowan the rock bottom and pinning him in 6 seconds. I think that's a new record, actually. The Wyatt family continue to try to attack The Rock even after he pins Rowan. But that's when the music hits. John Cena comes out to The Rock's aid. They finish the Wyatts with signatures, and Bray gets a people's elbow, which was kind of cool to see. The Rock and John Cena had that whole big feud a couple years ago, and John Cena comes back after not seeing him for months. So it's kind of cool to see. I'm really, just being honest, I'm not a John Cena fan. I respect him for everything he does. He's dedicated. He's definitely a great worker. He's a really good worker. Works his ass off. I respect that. But I'm just not a big fan of him in the ring. I'm not. But it was really cool to see. Next up and last up, we had the main event for the evening. Roman Reigns versus Triple H for the WWE World Heavyweight title. I didn't like the Authority, the Miracle entrance, I'm going to call it. Because, come on now. That's Mike Bennett's entrance. Come on now. I didn't like it. I didn't like Stephanie's voice. I didn't like it. But I did like Triple H coming out of the light. The tunnel was just a light. And then you seen him walk out of the light. I did like that. I liked the people with the masks and the titles. I liked that entrance. I just didn't like the voice to it. No, that's Mike Bennett. That's Maria Kanellis and Mike Bennett. Sorry. That's just me speaking. Again, me speaking. I liked Roman's pyros. He hit the, and then the star, they all come up. That was really cool. I like Triple H's in the match. He hits a neck breaker. Running, Roman Reigns is standing on top of the table. He hits a neck breaker off the table. I thought that was really cool. Reigns gets he spears Triple H through the barricade. It seems like Reigns can never, that big ass power bomb though from the ground in the armbar or something to pick him up and power bomb. It seems like he can never pick him all the way up and hit it really good, hit it really flush. He never seems like he can never do that. But anyways, he done that twice to him. Steph broke up a pin after a spear, then gets speared herself. Reigns kicked out of the pedigree. Steph gets a sledgehammer. It's doer times here. Dire times. Dire times. Fuck. Gets a sledgehammer for Triple H, but gets 2 Superman punches holding the sledgehammer and actually gets speared. And Reigns wins with that spear for him to get his second, and we have a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, you guys. Roman Reigns. I knew it would happen. It was the obvious choice. Maybe in a couple months, whenever Seth Rollins comes back, we can see a Reigns versus Rollins feud. I actually think that would be really, really nice. I actually think they could do quite well with that. But anyways, overall show, about a 8.5, maybe 9 of 10, maybe 9 of 10 stars for me. It was a really good WrestleMania. Actually, one of the better ones we've seen in a while, so I do have to say that. I think they should have gave AJ Styles the win. I think Sasha Banks, they maybe should have gave her the women's title. There's a couple things. That's just me being a mark. Let's face it, if you're a wrestling fan, you're a mark, no matter what. That's just me saying what I would want of them to do. But they had a great show. It was a good WrestleMania this year. So if you enjoyed my reviews, any of my videos, super kick that like button, super kick that subscribe button, share it to your Facebook, Twitter, anything else so maybe another wrestling fan can see. I'm going to get on out of here, you guys. Peace out. Later.